I believe in Brava. I believe in Brava. I believe in Brava. Welcoming all to Church of Brava, now in session. I really wish that my computer wasn't so loud. I believe in Brava. I believe in Brava. Oh, the most beautiful moments are when we're setting up the chat while we're live. I believe in Brava. Edgar, how are you feeling about this transmission so far?
The transition?
Transmission. And
transmission?
Actually, transition. Yeah, let's talk about that.
I mean, I think you're doing a good job overall.
What are you transitioning out of and into? Let's just get into that.
I don't know. I think, like, being stuck. I could be, like, stuck in habits sometimes. I'm just like, oh, let me get out of those habits. But that's not easy. It's not easy.
Habits are the hardest to break. That's why you have to form the one true habit, which is, what would you say that is? Or did you say that?
Checking in with yourself daily.
Okay, well, you replace what word in that sentence with Brava. Okay, and we're going to open it up. Hello, welcome. Hi, I'm Brava. I'm here with my dear friend Edgar Momplaisir. I perfected his name. I'm very good at getting things correct. And we are in my very hot studio apartment. I feel so Brava blessed because if you're a Brava baby, you know I'm constantly trying to get you to come over to my studio apartment. And I got one, and he's not leaving, right?
Okay, I mean, we'll see, like, you know, I got somewhere to be at 6:30.
Okay, well, that's like 6:30 is an idea. So, my darlings, we have Edgar Momplaisir here, who is he has created the Wokest podcast, and he is the self-proclaimed Wokest person in the world.
On the podcast, yeah. It's like a satire of the idea that you could be the most, like, enlightened of anything.
That sounds so silly. Why would you make a joke about something?
I think, like, you know, kind of in today's culture, you kind of, like, you know, have these people who are kind of grifting society by proclaiming, like, they're acting like they're better than a lot of people in certain ways. Maybe they're more connected to something, but in actuality, it's like I think everyone's more flawed than everyone's living.
1,000%. I have a book of self-help, and every single one from Eckhart to Oprah is just full of shit. And the truth is that, yes, on the ascending...
You said the fruit?
Oh, the future truth. Okay. Dearest Brava baby. I don't have to kick Edgar out of my house, but it's all the Brava babies know that the future fantasy truth, which is what we as a community live by. Mm-hmm. Would you describe yourself to be a Brava baby?
No, because I don't know what that is.
Okay, well, this is an indoctrination process. Mm-hmm. How's it going with the heat in here?
Oh, I'm completely comfortable.
Okay, good, because I'm sweating my balls. Not balls. Sorry, just get like, we're like kind of in my bedroom, so it's kind of nervous. Okay. So, Edgar, this is like this whole idea of like some people elevating themselves and like using this cultural moment to be like, hey, I have all the answers. This is 100% like a part of the process. And as we walk up the stairs, like my live show is called Ascension, because we're ascending to Providence, November 3rd, 2020, the rapturing. Mm-hmm. And in the ascension process, we have like tools that we grip onto, and it might be a spiritual leader who's like not God, you know, it might be someone like, as Edgar satirizes, who's like speaking this fruit that is not the fruit. And as we move up, we're able to not look back. And so we can use those steps, those relationships, those people, those books, those teachings, and adulterate them, take them on, bring them into the broader community, and then we get to the top. And this is the transition that just came through. It's pretty big. I mean, I'm saying on God right now. Mm-hmm. We are going to be alone when we get to the top. That means we're all one. That's like the same word.
Is that okay?
Isn't that cool?
I guess like that's why like that song is called "One Is the Loneliest Number," because one and alone are similar things.
Okay, well, it's I mean, everything I say is, listen, if something sounds similar, and this is important for all Bravos to hear, if something sounds similar to something else, it's because it was channeled by Brava. So Brava is underneath it. Let's turn it over to you, though, because really our time is precious, and I want to really focus on your work in this world.
Okay.
So why do you feel like it's important to like satirize? What do you feel the point change and take back the night? Where's the place for comedy in that?
I think I'm mostly talking to myself, and like that's something I kind of have to realize is like it's never going to be satire if you're pointing at anybody but yourself a little bit, because then you're exactly what you're making fun of, and like I do that. Like I am preachy. I am like, especially like when I learn like a new word in therapy, I'm like the first person to like start using it outside of that. So I'm also kind of just like making fun of myself, but I think it's just like a reminder of like, I don't know, man. I think that we're kind of like going down this path of us kind of losing ourselves, where like the Wokest for me was kind of reminding myself that the reason why I think people want to get better is because they want to be better to themselves. So we kind of have to remember ourselves.
So it's like actually loving yourself rather than treating ourselves.
Exactly. Exactly. I think that there's a little bit of, not all the time, and again, I think that there's certain people who should be shamed. I think there's certain people who
cut out your lives.
Like that's completely respect. Like if you need to, but I also think that sometimes, like right now, everyone's commenting on Jesus is King, the new Kanye West album, but I'm also just like, is it more like better for us to just completely cut that nigga out of our lives and not think about it? And like,
and I also
like
think
is that more? Is that probably the more conducive thing to our mental health?
So I just want to say, coming from ignorance, I have not listened to the album, but I will say that there is something.
I was just arguing that we don't listen to it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I might listen to it just for fun.
I mean, sure. I mean, do whatever makes you happy.
Okay. I'll do whatever I feel like because I'm Brava. And most important thing.
Or because you're yourself. Like, yeah, because you're Brava. You should do whatever you want.
Well, this is the thing. How Brava feels like affects everything. So I have to really make sure that the message feels good all the time. So, yeah, that's the most important law. It's only law B versus how Brava feels like affects the lever and stuff like that. It's go on the internet. And you won't
so then, if it's hot right now, is that because
because I'm not fully satiated.
What does that mean?
It means that like my erotic blueprint, which I've just discovered, hasn't been totally mapped out by another human being. So like, I probably need about 5 more guys in my studio apartment right now. I'm trying to run a profitable virtual sex cult with no money and sex.
I mean, that sounds like a brothel.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be fun. But
well, we have so much fun. Let's have fun, okay? Don't make me think about things. Okay. I love you, Talia Brava. I love you, Talia Brava. I am Talia Brava. Hi, I'm welcome. Community. So I do think there is a place in our culture for the person who stands out and says the thing that everyone wants them to stop saying. It's Sarah Jessica Parker when you're like, bitch, that is so ugly. But then I feel as a 14-year-old watching Sex and the City, I can wear like a weird outfit to school.
Yeah, but that's bringing some sort of value. I don't think that there's anything that Kanye West has said within the last 2 years that's brought any sort of value there.
He has said though people should be able to say whatever they want to say.
I don't agree with that. Or here's what I disagree with. It's like, sure, people can say whatever they want to say, but I think that we give this false promise of that if they say it, it's not going to have any consequences. Like, I can walk up to my girlfriend and say, look, I fucking hate you. I never want to fucking be with you. But if I said that, that would have consequences.
Yeah, you come closer, bro. And else, I get your points on that, but yes, you would.
Yeah, like if she would never want to speak to me again, I can't just be like, well, why is she doing that? It's like, I did something and there's a reaction.
Words are energy. So even energy alone is something. Words have energy behind them. And then also physical. There's also physical. So it's like taking responsibility for our actions in the world is what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And not pretending that they don't matter.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we came to a conclusion on that one. What's the soul?
I have a hard time kind of believing that exists as of late.
And what has that changed for you?
I think that change has been putting more accountability on myself. Because I think sometimes we get into some of that stuff, we're putting a lot of things on other people. Where like, and it's also kind of made me re-believe in God in a sense. But like, that's an answer.
So were you raised with any religion?
Yeah, very strict religion.
What was that?
Adventism.
I've never heard of that. I try to stay uneducated so that I can really get a through channel, a future channel. Yeah, so I don't want to take in any.
I don't want to give you any notes. That's not my place.
Oh, it's 100%. Your place is in the House of Brava, so please do share whatever you feel.
I think that you could just say fruit channel.
Well, that was actually there was a little experimentation in the bedroom. I've actually never done that before.
Okay, because it doesn't need to replace the CH with an F. Yeah. Because you're just trying to say future channel.
Remember, what are your thoughts on fracking?
Fracking?
Hard segue.
Probably not a good thing.
I don't know what it is, but
I think it's like hard drilling.
Okay. So you were raised with a very strong evangelical.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it was? No, what was it?
Adventism. Evangelical element to it. They do believe in evangelizing.
And do you feel like your mind, like, as you were shaped, like when you were growing up and you were handed a religion, because like Brava babies are handed a religion, they're handed a doctrine to take. Do you feel like you had space for questioning?
No.
When you were, okay. And so tell us about that. How did you come from that place to a place of questioning?
I think just certain things happened in my life that made me kind of doubt what was happening around me. Like, it just, some things just didn't click. I think I've always been a curious kid, and how much that was, dissuaded made me want to do it more.
Mm-hmm. It's like, well, it's a lot like, what we're not allowed to do in the bedroom, like take someone else's space and just letting us know. That's my friend. It's a line from the show. But I do.
I don't know how what I just said was related to what you just said at all.
Well, when you are on a mission and you have a path, it's hard to really truly listen.
I'm not on a mission.
But I am.
Okay, what's that mission?
Brava, I'm not sure. And you just seem like you're not on board.
It's not that I'm not on board. I think I'm just kind of confused as to what the benefits are and aren't.
You know what it is? I'm going to just put this really bluntly. Don't be insulted. You're a thinker.
Sure. I don't know why I would be insulted by that. That's probably one of the best compliments. I think that someone saying that I'm thoughtful is, to me, gives me more of a high than someone saying I'm funny. Because sometimes I feel like I can be funny off of things that don't have way much thought, which is why a project like the Wokest excites me. It's because I think it can, at times, achieve both. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's me.
I would agree. It is very funny, and it's a thinker. I think that the funniest things are really like when Brava babies fall.
Mm-hmm.
What's your relationship with my brother Jesus?
I don't know right now. Like, truly, I was asked that question on the interview earlier this week, and even last night. I think I surprised a friend of mine where he's just like, "You're an atheist, right?" And I didn't feel comfortable saying yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Do you feel like you're constantly changing?
Yeah, I do.
Is that challenging in your relationships? Do people expect you to be one thing?
No. I don't think people have much expectations of me.
Oh, what a relief.
I don't know. This makes me feel good. But I don't fucking do that.
What do you know? True. What's one? This is an Oprah question. I still don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What's one thing you know to be true?
You are the strongest weapon against yourself.
Ooh.
So you have to turn it into a weapon for yourself.
And what are your practices to utilize yourself?
Well, I just did one earlier, which was like I was having a negative thought. I was just like, this opportunity I have possibly coming up won't end up happening. right? Like just like
Yes.
this negative thinking, even though it's like but like I had it. So then I go, I'm having the thought where I think that the opportunity won't work out, and then I go again. I recognize that I'm having the thought, so that you start becoming cognitive of the way that your brain kind of sends these negative messages.
Absolutely. Watching the thoughts and then replacing all thoughts.
I just learned that today
It's great.
on Instagram.
I love
I
it.
like that.
See how much we can learn from Instagram? Is everybody watching Instagram constantly tell you about. See, the thing is, I hear what you're saying, and I also think I'm going to add this when we get Brava ordained, is that you replace a thought. So you see it, you notice, you replace a thought with the one true thought, which is I let me tell you, Brava. And what we're seeing right
Okay, but all right. Okay. What does fru means?
Future true. So you don't have to feel it right now.
True thought.
Yeah.
I think that one you can go through fraud.
The fruit fraud.
I think you can go through fraud.
I like that. It sounds like a snack.
Sure. But maybe you don't.
Fruit fraud. So, what do you feel like when you like navigate the world of comedy and like being a thoughtful person and having that be more something that you're drawn to? Do you feel like you have other communities that you find different kinds of conversations happening, or do you feel like your conversations are mostly within
that question confused me.
It confused me. I didn't know where I was starting. I didn't know where I was going.
But I understand. Are you saying that I think that conversation that I'm having with myself is only happening within comedy, or do I also get other places?
What I mean to say is, you like with that distinction that you inside yourself, where you're like, I feel like I am actually more curious of being thoughtful than being funny, and like the funny can happen, but like you're really like into like the deep contemplation.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have a community for that outside of the comedy sphere? Like, do you have other communities?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm really interested in like journalism. I think that as much shit as we give a lot of journalists right now, we have a lot of people who are just opinionators and they're not actually journalists. But I do think that that's like a community that I pay a lot of attention to. Filmmaking right now, I think, especially considering how many female filmmakers are coming up. I think that they're naturally bringing a little bit more thoughtfulness. I think I'm massively interested in people who are into therapy and listen to a lot of the conversations that the mental health community is having. I think all of that kind of interests me. And also, the astrology community, interestingly enough, has kind of made me, because they're interested in patterns. And I understand that a lot of the patterns may be based off of bullshit. But still, the idea that we do, as people, kind of fall into these patterns, get comfortable with it, as an idea, is very interesting.
Yes, I had an incredibly vagina-opening experience with an astrologer. It's funny that you can't make eye contact with me, like, in my big sexual regions.
I mean, I haven't made eye contact with you this entire time for a lot of different reasons.
Because of my godlike presence, but you're not even sure.
I think it's because you have a very open dress and it makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, this is my apartment, so... And I wear this dress for every job. Yeah.
Okay.
So as we were saying,
I didn't mean to.
Uncomfortable.
I know. I didn't mean that to be.
Listen to this.
It's not your sexuality. It's not your sexuality. It's.
Sexuality is that.
I guess it's my own. I never know how to feel.
This is exciting because this is exactly a segue into what this astrologist told me.
Okay.
That I am a sexual healer. That I'm a freak. Like on a level that I didn't even know. That I still have not discovered. And it's going to be a big part of this announcement. I'm doing an announcement November 3rd that's going to lay the course for Brava Baby's work for the full year.
Okay.
So a lot to do with that.
With you being a sex freak?
Yes. Which I didn't even know. I haven't even become it yet.
Oh, you haven't become it yet?
No. They were like, you are. But
why are you afraid to do it?
Well, my Brava Babies, like, we just haven't been ready. Like, the whole multi-galactic sphere. It's like moving to a place where we're going to have this comfort and a lack of fear because right now everyone's going to be afraid.
Is it going to involve sex?
I don't know yet.
That's fair. I feel like that's like a line that you keep walking up to, but you're like dancing on it, but you're afraid to jump over it.
Yeah,
like, I think it's like the last step that you're afraid of. But I get it. I understand that if you were to go to that level, especially as a woman who's opening herself up on the internet, you're opening yourself up to like a lot of conversations and comments and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You really can't walk in So I try to Trojan horse like the whole world, but you really can't walk into create a synagogue, a church, if you will, on my cameras without getting a lot of comments. It's just the nature of the game.
All right.
It's a challenging ordeal, but
I don't know if I knew that.
there's something interesting, right, about the idea that what is this play that we're having with like the masculine and feminine, with women like coming into our power, reclaiming our power as like witches, like sex magic and all that.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But also like as it happens, like that has to be a male-female thing because like we need to be able to like I feel like this is like, something happening with us coming together and not shaming women and not being afraid of women's sexuality. Not to say you're doing those things.
No, I think I am. I recognize that in myself. I understand that, but that's also my own shit.
Yeah, it 100% is. And isn't it so funny? As soon as like, we peel back, like this is like the level. This is the layer. What is your astrology sign?
I'm a Taurus, Gemini, cusp.
I am a Taurus moon and a Gemini ascendant.
No, that's dangerous for me.
In what way?
Oh, I only date Geminis.
Well, I'm also very, very Scorpio.
Oh, that's also not. Bueno.
Nobody likes that.
No.
So
oh man, yeah, they're bad people. No offense, but
no,
I think they
let's
are.
speak more to that because I don't. As Brava, listen. The altar, she was trying to be good. I embrace the darkness. I bring it out of me.
I think that they're manipulative, vengeful people.
Okay.
And I think that they'll like do ulterior things to get what they want, and they don't do it in a very forward way. I understand that doing things in a forward way is scary, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
would you describe my altar like in? I don't know her super well. Do you think that she seems to be that?
No. That's why I'm surprised to hear that you are. That your altar was. Yeah. I guess I should say.
Well, it's interesting that this has come out of her, this monster.
See, but then again, maybe I'm still right because rather than her being that herself, she's created this whole persona, this other thing where she can go around and do that because her herself is too afraid to commit to being a sex freak.
Well, also, I think there's something to how we have these thoughts that come through and thoughts and feelings, and I think personally, spiritual person.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. I think that all that is inside of us is ultimately good. I think that my personal, because I am mommy to all, how could I create this so beautiful? I do believe that, just like Anne Frank said, that underneath everyone is good at heart.
Yeah, but then she died.
Every piece of us, every little piece of a person.
But she literally died.
In a most beautiful way. She's a best-selling author.
She's not an author.
So much fame. And a cool little face. Okay, so whatever. We'll just call her like the ultimate pop star. Like if she was today, she would have a total hit. It would have been like, I'm in the attic. It'd be so cute. It would be like whispers. Like she'd be like whisper rapping about it. Okay, I think that you should cast the remake of the Anne Frank story.
Are you Jewish?
I'm a quarter Jewish, but also mostly
Is your mother Jewish?
Mostly all religions are blasphemy, and I just.
But we're talking ethnically. We're talking ethnically.
Ethnically, my father is a half Jewish.
Okay, but your mother's not.
My mother is not.
So then that's the rules, right?
I know. I hate rules. So I made my own rules.
But okay, but going back to the Scorpio thing,
yes.
I think it's like.
I never got to the point though. Okay, so the point. I would go deep and for a segue. You know, we can go there for like days, but. What I want to say is that I do feel every aspect of ourselves, the only thing that makes it negative is the repression of it, the shame of it, the resistance to it. Just like no feeling is inherently good or bad, it's just our resistance to it.
And your actions that you do based off of those feelings 100%.
Yeah.
A lot of times those actions, like you said, are the resistance of it, right?
The repression is why we have like crude behavior in the world and horrible behavior. So that is where I believe we are all one, and that we all share the same, all those elements are alive and can be lit up in anyone, and that by being the one to say this thought or to express something that someone else is repressing, it's an invitation and an allowing to be like, oh, that's a human thought. I have that thought sometimes, and that sucks. You know, it doesn't mean I go around burning girls' hair unless I trying to do something to get the boyfriend. That's just called me having my
That's
power.
called being a Scorpio. Like, you're not being direct.
Okay. Well, I hate to say it, but if you're gonna love me, I would rather you hear me.
Yeah, that sounds like a very Scorpio thing to say. But I get it. I'm the opposite of that,
Okay,
right?
yes,
Where a
let's hear it
Taurus
from you.
is very obtuse.
That's my other sign, so I thought, which is interesting. But anyway, so Taurus, obtuse, in what way?
Like they're very stubborn. We over direct. We're very lazy at times. Like
I hate that
in
word.
relationships, we don't want to do anything but just lay in bed and have sex. Like we're not as romantic. We're we're shy. That's weird. Is that we're shy, but we're also direct. But yeah.
And our Taurus is pretty emotional.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Very emotional, which is why having the Gemini makes them not good. Because they're so kind of busy.
Well, as we come to a close, we are moving towards rapture, and that's what gives me hope. Is that this feeling about 1 year?
Were you feeling self-conscious about me looking at my phone, which is why you started closing?
Well, yes.
No, don't do that. That's me looking at the scores for games.
Oh, are you like betting on a game right now?
No, I'm not betting. I'm
You're
just looking at the score.
Oh, you're just really holding down the masculine.
Not really.
It's like definitely like nice and comfortable. Like the girls talking in their mirrors looking sports.
That is true. I do that, especially like when I'm out at dinner.
Yes.
I'll look over my girlfriend's shoulder to watch the game.
Does she get upset about that?
Of course. She gets upset about everything.
Well, that's the thing about love is that it just, you see something in someone and then you work hard to have all your needs fulfilled by them. So you get frustrated by them not fulfilling and reading your mind. And maybe I'm thinking about myself. And I'm never in a relationship.
I'm going to tell you something, Talia.
Okay.
I think that you have a very good batting average, and like 30% of what you say is very relevant and helpful.
Thank you.
And that's very good if you were like at bat.
Because I talk a lot.
But if you're going to be somebody's life coach, you got to get that number a little bit.
The thing is, I'm not their coach. You can fire a life coach. You cannot fire your erotic birthmark cult leader, God. You can't fire God.
Yeah.
So I really can do whatever I want.
But no, I wasn't looking at the time to be like,
Okay, cool. Well, I have a very, that's a good question. And it doesn't have to be the last question, but I think it's a powerful one. So when I look out at this Death Ship planet, I think we've got 1 year left, basically. November 3rd. After that, it's one fun fucking year, right? How bad can it get? How crazy can it get? How hilarious can it get? Because it's all play. It's all just to make people laugh. It's very funny. When you look at it, this world, not having the faith yet to be a true born Brava baby, what brings you hope?
I'm into ugly. I think right now, like it's like this is like what my mental health journey has been, right? I was suicidal, made a big discovery, plateaued at that big discovery, and then fell low again. Okay, back up. And it's been like that like the last since I was diagnosed, back in college, my sophomore year. So I think right now the ugly is a reminder for me that I'm being frustrated because I'm about to break through.
That's beautiful. There is, and that's why I say, right, we're kind of on the opposite spectrum. I tell my brother babies to keep on just amping up because we're going to be able to crash for a full week once we get Providence. But there is always, for every high, there's a low, right?
Yeah. That's why you can't just keep amping up. You got to.
Well, we got like a week to just chill once we get Providence. What time is an illusion?
Yeah.
So
do you do cocaine?
I do anything that gets me closer to Brava.
Is cocaine on that list?
Sure. Okay. I'm not going to tell my brother to do that, but they do know that any pharmaceutical cocktail, any drug, anything that helps you hear the fruit.
You say pharmaceutical cocktail?
100%.
So that means multiple pills at once?
Listen, for legality purposes, should not be saying exactly what is Brava ordained and Brava content. And at the same time, yes, and still, it helps you hear the fruit better, which all great personal leaders have utilized, whether it's through meditation or acid. Every personal leader has done something to get them to actually open their brain and turn off the mental functioning of like, I need to be here at 6:30. Just hugely blasphemous.
No, I have a commitment that I made to a group of people to be somewhere at 6:30. perform comedy. And that's kind of what I do for a living.
And I just heard that word "I" 3 times that sentence, and no rate I feel Brava. But it's so beautifully put that you feel like you now seeing the cycles. We're talking about cycles and patterns. To be able to see a pattern in your own life, but like, yes, I might feel this way, but like, this too shall pass, and in fact, I might have a great insight on the other side of it.
Yeah, man, it was what keep me from not killing myself. I guess is that like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna break through.
This is so challenging. I mean, to work with a brain that is, like you said, to work, we all have to work with our brains every day. To not have Brava, I have to work with your brain all
No, I don't think that's what's challenging. I think what's challenging is, like you said, work with my brain. That sometimes my brain falls into negative patterns instead of negative thoughts. I wouldn't call it. Well, even again, I think you're a fantastic person, 30%, very good batting average.
So, would you say that your depression has been a gift in your life?
Yes. Yeah, it's not a curse.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to say it's a gift in that, like, I am gonna sit in it and be like, oh, no, I'm doing the work. I'm fucking having tough conversations in therapy, or, you know, apologizing to people, doing all this shit. Like, that's fucking rough and tough.
Yes.
But I'm hoping that I'm getting better.
I love that.
I'm hoping that I am. I hope that I'm not the same person I was when I was diagnosed. I hope that I'm not the same person that I was 3 years ago. I hope that I'm a better person.
I mean,
I'm better.
That's beautiful to see change. And I also feel like this is the thing, is that you don't have to hope that, because we actually are. And this is the only moment that you are this and I am this. It's literally the only moment. The person that you were, that loved your mother, that loved your father, that lived in a house in the suburbs, you can let that person go. And look at my father, the birth father, who joined this conversation.
Oh, he watches this?
Right there, Andrea Brizzi. He's yeah.
Oh, his name is?
Andrea Brizzi.
That's a very Italian name.
Yeah, this is my ultimate father, but I was raised by him.
Is he Italian?
He's Italian.
That's one of the most Italian names I've ever seen in my life.
Well, he would say, "Oh, va bene," in response to that.
Is he like from Italy?
He's
Italy?
from Italy.
Wow.
And your mother is from Haiti, is that correct?
That is correct.
So is she first generation? Or your first generation?
People argue that it means both. So people have argued that she would be first generation and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Like, are you first generation or is your dad first?
I think
it depends on who's asking.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I hate numbers. But I will say this: that is a specific experience to be like the first, like have an immigrant parent. What was your experience like?
Oh yeah, immigrant parents are wild, man. They definitely don't get most things.
My dad loves puns.
Yeah.
Most fathers do.
My mom wouldn't let me go to sleepovers because she thought I was insulting her house. And it's like, no, that's just what counts.
It's just a mere thing.
Yeah. You know,
we all run away. We're fiercely independent.
I saw this video of Masai Ujiri, is that how you say his name? He's the GM from the Toronto Raptors. He's from Nigeria. First African GM ever.
What is GM?
General manager of the Toronto Raptors. He won a championship last year. The team that he helped build. Very proud. The team allowed him to take the Larry O'Brien championship trophy back home to Nigeria. And I was watching this like Real Sports on HBO. And he brings the trophy to his parents. He walks in with it all high. And his parents didn't even get off the fucking couch. They're like, oh, yes, son, yes. They like,
They just didn't get it.
yeah, and like that to me was like, I was like, oh, I fucking feel that. Like the shit that I've accomplished in my life, and like I remember I went back home recently, and my girlfriend is a very good champion of myself, and she was like, we should watch Edgar's show that he writes on, and we watched it, and my mom watched like 30 seconds of it and got up and started doing the dishes, and I was like, damn, that's wild.
It is interesting to so be connected to people and then also so not be.
I'm not connected to her at all, I don't think. Oh, I guess like we talk, but
yeah,
we're not homies like that. Probably my therapist.
Oh, that's amazing. And do you feel like that's a back and forth relationship, or would it be more of like they were there to be your therapist, or would you be like, now we're just friends?
No, they're there to be my therapist because I'd be like, you need to talk me through this crazy shit that's happening right now.
Okay,
Your
well, that's
battery's
actually
gonna
not
die.
allowed. Okay, so we're going to end with one final question, and also, I'll grab it now. Please, don't bring your therapist to Providence. That's heaven. We're going to heaven. You're not going to have any freaking problems.
I think the Nets are going to beat the next.
All right, we
So
want to
I'll
get
fucking
you to be able to start your phone for the next 45 minutes in peace. My darling, I have one final question. I have anticipation of a negative answer, but at the same time, a girl can treat.
Sure.
Maybe if I cry, it might help.
I mean, that's weaponizing your tears, but sure.
I'm going to work on it. My emotions are my easy paths to everything I want. Yeah, Edgar.
Sure. Yeah, I think that what you're doing is real. Yeah. I mean, is it for me? I don't know, but I think that definitely I'm in this room, you're a person. I do think that I don't know where Lucia is, but yeah, no, this seems legit.
Thank you so much for validating my personhood. Thank you so much for using me again. Thank you to all the Brava babies who joined. Hello to Lucia's father. Somehow still stalking her. It has been such a dear pleasure to have you, Edgar. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And listen to the Wokest. It's truly hilarious and also very smart.
Thank you, that's very kind.
It's hard to do a lot of really good podcast humor that's not smart, I would say, because it's like crap all over you as well. But
yeah.
it's wonderful. It's very, very entertaining.
Oh shit, yo, shout out to Josh Breckus, bro. That's my nigga. Hey, yo, shout out to Josh Breckus. I know what you're doing right now. You're rubbing yourself in a toilet. He does this thing before every show. He rubs himself in canola oil and then takes a shower right after. Seems very wasteful for me. But yo, shout out to Josh Breckus.
Well, Josh,
you enjoying your pre-show routine.
Always do that while watching Tanya content as well. Please, use canola oil in a bathtub.
Yeah, he covers himself up in canola oil, and he gets a deep in, and then he showers right afterwards.
Josh, we're gonna talk about this offline. I want to see a video. Okay, my Brava babies, thank you for joining us. Bye. Bye. You might notice that the live video never ends. And then we'll just have to go forever. Have you ever seen it? Bye. Bye, YouTubies.